Okay, so today we're going to focus on mixing our shades. If you still want to use the tints with the white, we'll be doing that as well. But the shades will be for the water, and that's with the color black, and then you'll get like a dark shade of blue, okay? And then next week we'll work on the outlining and penguins. So today we are going to learn about value so that I can mix tints of color by adding white and shades of color by adding black. So here is my paper from last week. I have got my colors in here, and then I've got my mixing tray and my water if I need to change. So just let me quickly review what we did last week with the tints, okay? So tints are when you're adding white. So tints, the white is pretty weak. So I always start with the white, and then I just take a little bit of color and mix it on top. And you can see it darkened it pretty much, pretty dark. And then I'm gonna start in the corner here. So I get a nice, clean area where I'm painting, okay? So I'm painting that in. So I always gotta like to do the edges. And then last week I painted over these two because I was noticing some people were just painting large areas. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So this is the same color in both, but you can see that line dividing it. So I'm gonna take that same color that I just mixed, add a little more white to it. I could have added a little more blue paint to it too, but I wanna add white. And then I'm gonna take my brush and my paint and outline it. And then no one will ever know that I had two colors that were the same side by side. So if you were rushing last week, today I wanna make sure we kind of fix up those little spaces with our new color, and it's definitely different now, okay? Now sometimes when you paint and you mix a color, they can be really close, but you know you mixed it and that's fine, okay? So I could still wanna do the icebergs back in these little areas, but I'm gonna stop now for a moment to show you how to do the shade, and that's gonna be for the water. So when I'm switching a drastic color from black to white or white to black, I'm gonna go into the water. Remember, I just kind of roll my brush around. I can wipe it on the end there. Then I'm gonna kind of dry it off on the sponge just by setting it nicely. Okay, sorry. So to make a shade, that's black with your color. Now, white, remember, was very weak. So you had to have white with just a little bit of color. Black is the opposite. It's very strong. So for the black, you want to get your paint color in there, so mostly blue, a little bit of black, and mix it. And it will make it pretty dark pretty fast. So I've got my color mixed there. And I'm going to paint, like I said, the water in two shades. So I'm going to paint this section here, this middle one first. You can paint the back one first if you want, or the bottom one. There's no wrong way to do it. I have my middle shade painted. Then I want to extend that to this side here, going back into my paint. Notice I did not go to my water. I go straight to the paint. The only time we go to water if we're doing like a drastic color change. Okay, then I want this to be even darker, I think. So I'm gonna take a little more blue, black to it, a little more blue because it's a bigger space, and mix it up. And it definitely looks like a darker shade. Maybe that's too dark for up there. Let's see. That's very dark. I'm actually gonna use that in this very back section here. It is almost black. See how dark that is? The black is so strong. I put a lot in there and it just took over. So I'm gonna use it for this section here because I think that can work. But then I'm gonna add some more blue to it to lighten it up, okay? So that works for that section there. And then I'm gonna take this color, let's see, kind of push it off to the side, add some blue to it. There, that's a little bit better. A little more blue. And I try to scoop off the side. I don't want to mix this because somebody else at your table could be using that color. And then, yeah, then I can paint this. And I always like to go kind of slow at the edge and then paint it, okay? Slow at the edge. So I just have a nice clean edge, clean line to my painting. Okay, there we go. Got a little bit to do here. And I could have used this big brush. That probably would have been wiser. A larger brush for this larger area, because I really wanted to use a small brush for the small spaces just so I have more control, and then this large brush for this space. Now I am noticing I might run out of my paint. So I have quite a bit of space, okay, so I may have to mix up a little more paint. If I had a small amount of space, let's say just like this corner area, that little trick by dipping your brush in the white really quickly, that would extend the color. I can try it here, but I think it's too big. Yeah, too big of an area to do that. But I'll show you what it kind of does. It just extends the color life a little bit more by adding water. Okay, it might actually work. I can make that work by just kind of blending some of these other colors down here. Okay, so we're going to finish coloring our iceberg and behind, and then the sky we're going to do with the tints as well. So I'd clean out my brush, add white with a little bit of blue for the sky. And if you're finding that you're running out of the spaces in here and you want to get another separate piece of paper to fold and mix, that's fine, okay? So iceberg, water, sky. Sky will be white, water will be adding black.